What's up, everyone? How is everyone doing? I hope everybody's doing great. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, if you're cruising through whatever, hit the like button, helps wake up the algo. I'm going to get this fire started while we got a few people. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the winter prep. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, what you guys do, because guess what? Up here in Michigan, winter has hit. It's hit pretty good actually today. And so I'd like to know what some of you guys do if you're in the colder climates. If not, let me know too, what state and city you're from. I'm gonna see if I can get this fire going a little bit while I'm waiting for a few people because it's really it's really pathetic. This fire is what in the heck? The wife must have been here. This is a 2018. She must have been doing something. She must have been doing some cleaning. Can't burn that. That's precious. You can see all kinds of stuff in here. I got to see about my everybody's been telling me about the chopper jopper. Still don't think I got enough paper though to get her going. Cold one today, new age. What's up, my friend? What'd you do today? Do anything or just stay hunkered? Because it is, man. It's nasty out. Come on, fire. Come on, fire, light my fire. I have to. I'll have to get the blowtorch. I think somebody took it. Normally I got a blowtorch I just let sit in there. Not the coolest, but all right. Well, let's see what we got going here. Darn fire won't start on me. Let me know if I should get the fire started. Okay. New age. What do you got here? You got one 16x7 tear out and one 16x8 and one 8x8 and opener new construction. Dang. If you ever get a picture, I can't tell you guys how much I love the pictures, man. I love seeing the different terrains and what contractors and they don't do the approaches and or they do a little bit of slope on the concrete there to help drain. A lot of them do, which is really nice for garage doors, right? But on those 16x8s and the 8x8 and all that, were they sandwich doors? Were they insulated? Were they non-insulated pan doors? What models were they too? What brand model, any of that good stuff. You putting an operator bracket on that thing. Just kind of curious. Like I said, it's just one of those things I was like, I wish I had a picture right now to look at. Cause I like looking at that kind of stuff, to see different terrains and different build outs, what the framers do, how sometimes they stiff you. They stiff you. Let me, I can put you guys up here too. I like doing that in the lives because that way you can't, I don't ever see the comments after the lives. So you can't ever read anybody's comments. It's kind of always a bummer. So that's why I kind of like using this. But I think this software has a glitch. I think we found out in 2 hours and 14 minutes or something like that. That's when I freeze. And it shuts down on me. Is from what I'm understanding. So if I just freeze and shut down on you, I apologize. It's the software. I have to find something better. Cold one today. I'm thinking of I watched the movie Grumpy Old Men. Some of you probably aren't old enough for that, but yeah, I kind of got it's a tropical heat wave. It's a heat wave. So I keep thinking, when are we gonna get the heat wave? Oh, the Clopay GD5 SV with windows. Now, I got a question for you. Is it insulated windows or non-insulated windows? So I found it's kind of tricky because I did a ton of them non-insulated, you know what I mean? But now I kind of get where I try to that if I get a customer, I do try to push for the insulated. I'm like, and it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Because you know how it goes. It's one of those things that it's the door has the weather seal and stuff like that, and it leaks, and there's a lot of things that go into it. But I do, I guess what gets me nowadays is I actually the reason I like them is because up in Michigan we get a lot of frost. I've seen a lot of windows that have frost, especially if the moisture in the garage, just from the cars, stuff like that. So that's why I do try to push it a little bit because boy, sometimes you just you get some wicked weather, and those things will be all frosty, and so I do try to push them a little bit more for insulated glass if they can squeeze it, but it does add up. Did I mess something up? What was it? What was it? New Age, the SSB. I don't know. Is SSB stand? What was that? Did I miss something? What you got here? Oh, this is Door Guy '06. What's up, dude? That's a cool looking little like your logo here. I don't know if you can see my mouse running over it, but that's pretty sweet. You got is it the Milwaukee? Milwaukee? What you got? What you got? Oh, and don't forget, hit the like button if you guys would too, as you're cruising through. This helps wake it up. Mr. Evan. Evan, what is the weather forecast in your area? What do you have? Lots of snow and cold? Let me know. Let me know. You guys got the salt working up there or no? Too cold for it. So door guy, he's got two 16 by 14 doors with 2 feet of high lift. And I also did a 9 by 7 resi door today. -40. Dang. Dang, -40. Dude, that's like when you're trying to stack that door as fast as you can, like, let's just get this door up. You know, I've been there. That's when I would bring I probably have my torpedo heater. And I mean that, because that would be the stage of where I'd have to literally which I mentioned in a video, and maybe some of you guys, comment below what you guys have. So for me, right, what always worked, I always like those rubber gloves for when I'm working. Some people just don't like gloves, which is fine. But I always like my rubber gloves. And then what I would do is I'd take those jersey gloves, right, the brown ones. I nip off the fingers, put in, I don't know why, but it just seemed like with the jerseys, that little bit of fuzz just helped keep my hands a little bit warmer. But anything, like I can't work with jersey gloves on. Some people say I can't work with gloves on. Well, I can't work with jersey gloves or um, I have done it with the yellow ones, those leather ones. I don't know what they're called, but they're insulated if it's severely. But I mean, I tell you what, if I got torpedo heater, I can keep rocking for quite a long time because I can just turn around. Whew, man, I got that blowing heat on my hands. Do the whole feet thing a few times. Get your boots up there, get them nice and toasty. Mm-hmm. But 40, whew, man. Evan says hello, hello. Oh, he's got -27 Celsius. No sol yet. Our roads just got plowed finally. Ooh, dang. Dang. What's the weather over there, Rich? I see you popped in there, Mr. Rich B. Guys getting anything? We're getting lake effect. I hate lake effect. It's like nobody else suffers except for us. We get lake effect. But it sounds like tomorrow's a pretty doozy. I don't know if it's already hit Rich's area, Rich B. What is it, like 35-mile-hour winds, gust, and then gosh, what is it, like 19 degrees Fahrenheit? Not gonna be fun. Ooh, Milwaukee insulated gloves are pretty good. I'll have to check those out. Are they kind of like somewhat thin? I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Are they kind of bulky? They're probably kind of bulky. I'm assuming if they're the what do they got? The insulated gloves ones? Yeah, I don't know. Then it's like, what's the price on them? What's the price? Because obviously, if you wear them out or you rip them or you slice them, are they kind of pricey? But I tell you what, when you're dealing with -40, um, it's like, I don't know if you're probably like me, but it's almost like you really don't care about money. You know what I mean? It's like, we got to get this job done. It's freezing out. Like, I want the best boots right now. I want the best gloves. I want the best apparel. Because man, I know the pain. I really feel the pain when it comes to that kind of stuff. I tell you, that's like, it's like one of those things, right? Right, men, the women, the girlfriends, the secretaries, they don't understand that crap. But me and you, we know what it's like. It's like, it's never, you only get like 2 days a year that's like perfect weather. It's either too freaking hot, too freaking cold. uh just got the burr. Evan, he was trying to film a video doing a head swap last week, but it was cold, so I ended up missing. Oh man, missing good footage. Dang, dang. Evan, what are you using too? What are you using to film? Are you using like your phone? You using a DJI, a GoPro? You got anything? Just, I tell you what, that cold will eat up batteries on stuff big time. Big time. 21. 21. Brr. Brr. Especially if you get some wind. Holy moly, man. I lost West today. He's around somewhere, but I had to get Bubba out. Bubba saves the day, and it's Bubba. Bubba is big. What's Rich got here? Rich, light snow, more glazing, more glazed roads. Yep, that's kind of what we're experiencing. They were kind of talking about more snow. They were talking almost like 6 to 12 inches. Haven't experienced that yet. Probably more. Let me think. Last I looked, it's probably been more like 2 inches. Right around there, 2 inches of snow. But it's that perfect, like you said, where it's blowing. It's getting stuff where we started out earlier in the day. We started out with that heavy stuff. It's kind of heavy wet snow because stuff isn't really cold. But now we're kind of getting into the blowing, and it just pops up out of nowhere, especially with the lake effect, the snow band. You can be driving, and you can go a mile down the road, and all of a sudden it's a blizzard. It's just not fun. Rusty's in the house. Rusty, I'm glad you're here. Says, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing good, Rusty. What'd you end up doing today, Rusty? Did you hang out? Did you do anything, or what'd you get? Got anything for the rest of the week? Door guy says I got the cut level ones. He says $8. $8 at Home Depot too. Huh. I was just at the old Home Depot, and they got their hats. These ones I seen on a rack. They're probably trying to get rid of them because this isn't the season. They were kind of off in the corner. I didn't see any gloves. I wasn't really looking though. I forget what I was there. I was looking for something. Maybe a saw blade or something. I forget. But maybe I'll check them out. Like I said, I can always check it online too. Maybe they're kind of something new to use. Ooh. We'll call him MA. I'm gonna call you MA. MA says, do you really need a contractor's license to get in garage door business in GA? So I don't know about the GA. It's kind of interesting because I'm glad you brought this up because so Mr. Caleb was asking me, I guess he had somebody call him. We're up obviously in Michigan, and as far as I know, from Michigan, you don't. But he ended up saying that it sounded like a builder called him, and he was like talking real fast and something about a builder's license and this and that. And I said, dude, whoever this guy is, I said, it don't sound like a good fit. I said, it sounds kind of fishy. Like obviously he doesn't really know all the situation. You know what I mean? Like, and I told him, I said, it gets to be where, what I'm saying? Like it can be, you can go too fast. You know what I mean? And I guess it all depends on what you want to do. Everybody's situation is different, but you can go too fast. Cause every time you get into that certain stuff right now, you gotta have the insurance. So now you got to up your insurance or increase your insurance, or you got to make sure you have the right insurance or get insurance. Things can add up real fast. So you definitely probably could check. Um, it might be good to ask, maybe like on some, find some Facebook forums and ask for that area. I'm sure you can call the municipalities and they're going to tell you everything under the sun that you need. And you'll go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like, I got to spend $10,000 a month just to even get into business. And how am I going to do that? So, yeah, just take your time if you can and do your due diligence. Great question, though. Ooh, Evan says, I'm just using an iPhone 14. He says, I think then transfer footage to my computer into Sony Vegas. Ooh, if I have to edit video or put multiple clips together. Nice. I don't know anything about the Sony Vegas. Huh. I have to check that out. I got a problem. My problem is the phone is at the storage. So I'm suffering. I am suffering. So I am actually editing videos for you, some of you guys, and I am literally deleting them, which I don't like doing. I don't know which way I'm going to go yet. If I'm going to do a storage bank thing or I don't like paying. I don't know what it is. I really like everything on my phone. It's so easy to access everything. Or if I got to show, I get some of you guys that, text me questions and I'm like, I got a picture of that. Like, do this, do that. Do. Rich Bay says 2 Jack Chefs today. Ooh, had to get in before he goes back to Indy for the holidays. Ooh, nice, man. Well, at least it sounds like you were in. Obviously, I'm sure if you're putting Jack Shafts on, you had enclosure. And that's the biggest thing, right? Right, fellas? I mean, that you got enclosure to be out of that wind. That wind is what brutally will kill you if it's getting cold out because, man, excuse me. Does anybody run snow tires? I'm just curious on any of their rigs. Snow tires? Anybody? Anybody ever do I know some places, most places probably are illegal, but do were they the studs in the tires? I've been really close on service vehicles, really close. But it's another set of tires and rims. And yes, you could just take them, have them change, but sometimes it's just nice to have a different set of rims and you can just do it at your own convenience. Next one here. All right, we got some comments. Sweet. Fill them up, boys. Door guy 6. He says, what impact guns does everyone use? He says, I use Milwaukee. No. Would never assumed with that badge right there. Milwaukee, that sweet looking Milwaukee badge. Use Milwaukee? God, sure. I surely thought you were probably a DeWalt guy. So here, I'll put my 2 cents in. I think I've come down. So it's kind of weird actually, because I just bought a chop saw belt as a Delta. I think it's a Delta. Pretty nice saw. Radial compound saw. Pretty nice. I think, I don't know. I think you can buy pretty much anything if you do your homework. Obviously, I bought mine used, try to save some money, but because I don't use it that much. But kind of like the DeWalt and I like Milwaukee. I really do. Everything I look at, I'm kind of a DeWalt Milwaukee fanboy. I do like the idea. I've just came across where you can buy those adapters, so you can run. For me, I got all Milwaukee. I got everything's pretty much Milwaukee. So, but they got adapters that go into a, I can plug it into a DeWalt. Man, sign me up. That's great. Let's go into here. There we go. There we go. I still got a soft spot for Ryobi. I don't know why. Just for cheap tools, I like Ryobi. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the colors. I don't know. I know they're like the considered like the junk of the junk. Door guy 06, he says, I know mine's. He says, a Milwaukee. Nowadays, it's like I've used my uncle's, the Porter cables. Like, as long as you don't make me have to, use a drill and I can use an impact, I'm game. Oh, Rusty's guy says tore out 12 by 12. Have a subcontractor framing it out to 14 by 12 and go back and install tomorrow. Ooh, then 2 spring installs. He says, I have work lined up for the rest of the year. I sold 5 openers yesterday. Nice. I wonder, Rusty, how do you like the I don't really know how I feel about the whole subs. I've had customers I've had customers come to me about the whole subs, like they'll be like, "Can you frame me out something?" And I kind of shy away from it now. I used to like bring in somebody, but it's just like it feels like it's a lot more added stress where I rather they just it always came across more, I can't say always, maybe 50-50, but it was always more residential, it felt like. But I just didn't like it, you know what I mean? Because it's like people and their siding and the colors and the trim, and it's like, you know what? You just hire whoever you're going to hire, and you hash that out with them. And then once you get this to where you want it, I'll come in. Now I know sometimes you got to do it almost to save, to get the sale, things like that. But I just wonder how you feel about it. I kind of, mm, you know, what's up, Mar? What's up, Mar? Hope you're doing good. Had a guy today calling me out for a vertical door install, 8-foot door with 6 foot. Ooh, man. You throw a 6 foot clearance. Dang. Dang. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Always seems like it's headroom, man. I tell you, isn't that crazy? I come across so many, I even do installs. I've had people, they're putting in like I go to the homeowners. When I used to work a lot for the Amish guy, I'd go there and I go do a detail is what I call it. Basically go out there and make sure everything's going to fit. And I'd always talk to the customer. They'd be outside watering their grass. I always did this stuff at like 6, 8 o'clock at night after work. And I remember, I'd be like, so what are you using this barn for? Oh, we bought an RV. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, what kind? Oh, that one's sitting over there. It's got an air conditioning unit on it. I'm like, have you met? Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's going to be like an inch and it's going to fit. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it was like, I don't know why, like sometimes they would just never build enough room. You know what I mean? Build the darn thing another 4, 6, 12 inches higher, but it was always right on the fence. Like they were just trying to shave every inch off for boards, keep that thing down. Nightmare sometimes. Do. Rich says the Milwaukee heated sweater yeah, sweatshirts work very good for and for gloves. I use Night Band. Ooh, I'll have to check those out. Is it Knit Night Band gloves? You can see it. You can read it. I never had one of the heated jackets. I always thought about it, but I've I'm sure they got them too, right? The vest. I'm a vest guy. Man, I like my vest. I do not like my arms being restricted. So I like a good vest. I normally have a Carhartt vest. Is what I've used over the years. And plus you got extra storage, you know what I mean? Like pockets and stuff. I'm a vest guy, but I like my vest. A hoodie, a long sleeve. Normally when I was out in the field quite a bit, it was a t-shirt, white t-shirt, long sleeve. Long sleeve typically was either an affordable door and gate shirt or like a Carhartt, and then a hoodie, a good hoodie, and then my Carhartt, yeah, my Carhartt vest. And then I'd also bring a jacket just in case if I was kind of standing around for whatever reason or waiting for something or forgot something, eating lunch. I don't know. The contractors there talking my ear off, and I know it's going to be a long conversation. Rich says yes. Oh, he says of the wind today. Heck yeah, man. That wind, that'll kill you, man. I remember just stacking doors, baby, just stacking things. Get this wind off us. Holy cow, it's so cold out. Ooh, Evan says just the all-weather tires on Kia all year, the all-weather, man. I really like so I'm running I got some snow tires right now. I'm running on the little Nissan. But the wife always has she has winter tires. Yeah, winter tires and summer tires. And man, it makes a big difference on her vehicle. But they're nice. They're a little noisier, I think. But that soft rubber works pretty good. Almost to the stud. I kind of wish I would have, because this year we got that darn icy roads again. And I thought, I just do not like being out of control in a vehicle. But we dropped off the tires at the shop. They got what were those, all season, but they had the snowflake. I went with the snowflake this time. Is it the 3 point, three peak snowflake. So they're supposed to be a little better for winter. We'll see. Do 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 do. Rich is God. Yeah, Rich says some states don't allow studded tires. Yeah, Michigan's one of them. I was just gonna like plop them in a couple spaces because like one year I had some crappy tires, and I tell you what, I ended up taking those self tappers, just little ones, because I still had meat on the tires, but they were hard rubber. And man, I went and drilled into those puppies. Man, that make a big difference. I tell you what, I was getting some grip, watching everybody slipping and sliding, and I was cruising. Dun, dun, dun. Most tools are made by two manufacturer. Oh, made by two manufacturers. Yeah, isn't like I don't think they even still sell Black and Decker for tools anymore. I mean, I think the last place they used to sell them was Kmart, and that went out of business. But I thought I was just watching a little history lesson on the whole Black and Decker. And they're saying that's where DeWalt came because they needed more of a commercial tool, and so people kind of like the joke was like using DeWalt, but it's Black and Decker. That's why I don't get really too emotional on the whole thing. You know, I mean, I do like having good quality tools, especially when you're out in the field. Um, but if you can only afford and like you basically got either nothing, then I take me a set of Ryobis. I take whatever Porter cable, because something's better than nothing. I can tell you that. Especially, and it all depends on tools, right? I always get those people you want this warranty, and I'm always like, nah, I don't want the warranty. I'm like, the guys will lose it or steal it or leave it behind before we ever used a warranty and all the headache and blah 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 blah. I did that with Rigid, and it was okay. Like we had a couple batteries, and you go back, but they won't swap it out. You got to do it like online, and you just start realizing your time. Time is so valuable. Most tools. Evan says, I'm surprised Miller hasn't tried to make openers. Ooh, yes, it is kind of that is now that you said it, watch, it's going to be the Christmas special. Right around the corner. We're going to see them roll them out. It's going to have the Milwaukee sticker on them. Rich says, he says, Ryobi is a Milwaukee tool. Is it? I don't know. Maybe that's why they're all kind of in the same hemisphere, right? Because what was the guy saying? Rigid. I think it was Rigid. I was doing a little research on the chop saw. Rigid and was it Rigid and Delta were made by the same, I think it was a Taiwan company. So yeah. So it's kind of like, okay. So and I was really looking. I was really had my heart set on a DeWalt because as far as I know, I'm sure you can buy the conversion and stuff like that. But I was kind of bummed because I thought the Milwaukee, like they want everything. At least I heard on a video, they want to have everything cordless. And with their chop saws, I don't want a cordless chop saw. I want the old 120-volt power. So I was looking at the DeWalt because I had the nice slides. I needed something that cuts a little bit longer. Hit the like button. There you go. If you're cruising through, hit the like button. We'd sure appreciate it. I don't even know what we're at to. What do we got? Maybe 8, something like that. But we'd appreciate it. Rusty says I have like he says I like having a frame sub because I don't have to do anything and I can get the job because other door guys stay away. He says 12 by 14 township job, no budget, no bids. Just get it done. Now he said, yeah, and that's I've come across excuse me. I feel like I've had some people that are like that. So I'm glad that you mentioned it. You know what I mean? And obviously, if it works out, it all depends because it's one of those things which is really kind of crummy about our trades sometimes, is that all it takes is I'm assuming I don't know for sure. It assume for Rusty, all it would take is that guy to go get a different job or something happens to him, God forbid, something catastrophic, or he moves out of the state, and now you're back on the bandwagon of you know what I mean? And I don't like babysitting. That's just me. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just kind of go, they're a dime a dozen, right? I think this is a good point here. I want to bring this up. This is why, and you guys can let me know if you've had any problems like this. So there's a couple places. One is realtors. I really don't have really good luck with realtors. I think they're kind of like car salesmen. I've had a few of them snooker me. Not all, right? Same thing with the churches, right? Pray to God. Love the churches, right? But I'm kind of a guy. I'm old school, right? I can go under an oak tree and I'm fine for worshiping. You know what I mean? But anyways, the churches. I've had a lot of churches. We used to do a lot of man doors, the aluminum front glass, really nice doors. And I tell you what, I guarantee it. I don't know for sure, right? I don't have that magic whip like Wonder Woman where I can wrap it around somebody and ask for sure. Only the man upstairs really knows. But I swear it's like they must. I guess what I'm getting at is when you don't have one decision maker. I do not like going. I like when there's not one decision maker. I'm pretty much like I'm bouncing. I'm out because in the churches, right? It's like they have their little meetings, and I can already hear the meetings, right? We got this estimate here. Yeah, yeah, we got this estimate here. Yeah, it's $1,400. 1,400. Don't you? You know Bobby? Bobby down the road. Bobby down the road does it. He can do it. I bet he'd do it for half the price. And so I've spent so many times with the good old churches, and I just don't even have no interest anymore. They've ran me around so many times that I just go, nope. I go, if it's not one decision maker, and for some reason, I've had a lot of pastors. Um, I remember it was like one we did a guy's like I don't think he was the pastor, but we did his garage door, but the house was like it was across the street. And I remember we got done with the garage door, and he's like, yeah, he goes, Bill the pastor. Well, that's not really the agreement here. You know what I mean? Like we're at your place, your residence where you live. You pay the bill, you pay us, and you have the church pay for this or however you do it. And I remember like it turned into just a big poopy situation, chasing money. And then another one, which was really weird, which I really didn't like. I didn't know it, but we got onto the secretary called us, said, hey, I got this job. And I forget how I got spinned, right? It got spinned as it was like the like a bus garage. Oh, that's what it was. It was a bus garage. And we're thinking it's the new up north bus garage. Like, oh my gosh, like this is a really good commercial customer to have. Like we didn't even have to pitch this one. They called us. This is great. We want to service them. We want to take care of them. This is awesome. So as we're going up there, right, we're taking the roads and we're like doing the GPS. Me and actually my foreman at the time, and I'm like, dude, like I don't think we're going to that bus garage like that we're thinking. And all of a sudden we get up to the address, and it's one of those old. I'm sure you guys have them around your areas too, right? It's the old school. It's like an old school. The one level school that's got the old windows that leak like a sieve, but they had the big stack in the middle with the big boiler. You know what I mean? That'd be just puffing out smoke back in the day. And then there was a bus garage. It was a 2-stall, basically the size of your garage at your house nowadays. It wasn't very big. And so we get there and we're like, oh no, this ain't the bus garage that we were thinking of. So we end up going in there. Nobody's there though, right? So we go in there and there's banana boxes, and they're probably about up to your chest. Banana boxes are like, what in the heck? I mean, this place is foul smell, like, and we would keep hearing something. What the hell's all that noise? Those rodents, right? It was squirrels and stuff. Well, these boxes still had food in them. It might have been like potato chips and stuff. I mean, not quite raw like meat or anything, not that bad, but there's food in this stuff. Like they must have got a donation. Now, this bus garage it was a church. So, anyways, we take dimensions of the spring. It's an old wood door. Imagine that, right? Oh, nasty wood door, and just a weird size spring, super long, probably 1.7 inch Crawford something, right? And we're like, whoa, this isn't the job, but we're here. We already drove here. This one didn't get pre-qualified too good, let's just say. So we end up measuring it, and as we drove back, we're communicating with each other that this is a job that this job needs to get paid. Like before we come up here, they already need to give us funding before we come up here. Like this smells bad, everything feels bad. Well, in the business world, my fault, whoever's fault, more my fault probably. You get busy. You get busy, especially when you're out trying to chase money, right? So you get busy, and all of a sudden, the springs come in. Somehow they get ordered. We get the springs. All of a sudden, it's like it's on the paperwork. And I don't know if you guys ever experience this, but it's like when you're about halfway, your brain is just you're just I got to do this. I got to do this. I don't even know if I'm gonna get home tonight and kiss my wife. Oh, and then I got halfway up there, maybe three-quarters way, and all of a sudden it was like that light bulb moment. I was like, oh, am I going to that job? What was the road called? Where am I going again? Where am I even at? What state is it? And you start zooming in and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. And you're like phone calling, trying to drive, hey, did you get payment? No, I didn't. Oh my gosh. Well, I already allotted this time to be here to do this with the other guy, blah, blah, blah. Really taking a chance here. This is not a normal customer. This is a new customer. This whole thing smells fishy. We get up there, and I remember we start installing it. And I'm already just like, my head's hanging low. Just, oh my gosh, man, this is not a good job. We're not going to get paid. We're doing this for free. How did we even get here? I just love working for free. And anyways, this guy shows up. Now it's not the pastor. It's actually one of his like workers or something, and this guy's dragging in, like he's got like 6 kayaks, brand spanking new kayaks. And the guy was dragging them past the door and something. And he kind of walked in and he goes, yeah, he goes, and this guy's a little slow. And he kind of goes, yeah, he goes, it's too bad one of you aren't the owner. He says, and we could just trade you guys for a kayak. Well, he doesn't know it. The guy I'm working with, my old foreman, right? He has been begging, like just been telling me how much he wants a kayak, and they're going to go down the river and they got all these plans. He's been just trying to itch to save up the money. And I'm just like, oh, well, hey, I didn't come right out, right? I don't do that. I don't do that crap. So I just said, I said, let me make a phone call. I said, because, he might do something like that. And I'm already just going, dude, if we get like $400 from this job and we don't have to chase this person down, because now, mind you, this church that's a school, an old abandoned school, is got campers in I mean, think of like a junkyard. That's what this place is like. I don't know where they would even do worship, but there was worship there. And I'm just like, this place is, I don't even want to be a part of this anymore. So anyways, the guy comes back and I said, hey, I talked to the boss, but I made a phone call. And I said, hey, I talked to the boss. I said, he'll do that. I said, he'd be willing to trade. I said, for a kayak. Oh, okay. He goes, I can't really make that decision. Let me call my boss or the pastor. Okay. You go ahead, Timmy. And so anyways, he says, well, come on in or something. I don't even know why. The weather wasn't bad, right? We go in there. Like next thing I know, it's like I said, it's like a school building. So you're in the hallway. It's somehow we got over. I think he was looking for his phone or something. We go into a school room, and I realized as we're standing there, he goes, oh, I'll be back. He says, I must have left it somewhere. He walks out, and I'm like looking around, and all of a sudden I'm like, there's a bed in here. I'm like, dude, this is where this dude crashes and sleeps. Like, I'm not gonna be in his bedroom. Like, I'm not, I don't want him thinking if he comes back, hey, did you guys take my necklace, or something? I'm like, what the is going on here, man? I just want to get my kayak and let's get out of here. So the phone call, and they got him from Sam's. I guess they got him from Sam's Club, right? Sam's Club. Yeah, Sam's Club. They got him from Sam's Club, donated for free. I don't know. And so he got his kayak. I still got a picture of my guy. He's in his kayak in front of the shop, actually, with his paddles. And I just told him, I said, look, I'll just take whatever this job is, $200-$400. So I was happy for him. It worked out for him. But that was one of the scenarios I would run into these churches. There were so many unknowns, and there was other people. There's been other situations. What is it? The like condos and stuff like that. If they have a group, we still have one that we still work for that have like 7 members, and everybody's got an opinion. They all think something shouldn't cost this much, and you name it. So that's my little rant. Sorry. Where do we leave off here? Do. Door guys has got 4 30 by 30s. Holy cow, you're right up there with Mr. Tanner. Doors for the next 2 days with the maximum openers. Ooh, doggies. Will they even run? Oh, those are the commercial, right? Yeah, 30 by 30s. Does anybody still know? Didn't they? Weren't they going to go back to the like the J's, and the M or the T's, T50s and stuff like that? Weren't they going back in November? I thought they were improving on those until they got it figured out the bugs. Does a 30-minute opener cost? Ooh, that's what Rusty's got. See, I already said it. I knew it. I knew it. I just knew it. Got MJ. I'm interested in getting into the garage door repair. I've been studying videos on it. Is there any training you recommend? You're right here, baby. Training's right here. Ask questions. If you want, you can have my number. You can always text me. Papa Tony's good too. I'm surprised it's getting about his time for him to show up if he's out there. I didn't message him. I should have messaged him. Rich, get on it. No. But Papa Tony, he can teach you. He's more willing to help you. Rich B always puts Rusty. A lot of you guys, I'm forgetting Evan. I mean, there's a whole community. And then it's one of those things like if you want, you can always email me at the Daveadubson@gmail.com. I put it in the description below. Just get out there, get your hands dirty. Don't do the training. There's a guy out there. We won't say who, but he's charging whatever it is, 12, 15, 16, $1,800. And he's going to give you a little slip and he's going to give you some weird paper stuff that really isn't relevant. And he's going to say, you're certified. Now go out there and kill him or get him, killer. And you can charge $2,000 for a spring change. And I don't even think Rusty's up there yet. I think this guy's got Rusty even beat. So, I think for most people, really, it's just get out there, keep getting your hands. There's a lot of stuff that goes into, obviously you want to get your business license, business cards and insurance, blah, blah, blah. You can do all that. But biggest thing is just there's so much, everything's free. Everything's free. Uncle Dave will tell you. And normally if I don't know, I'll typically ask one of these guys in the comments and beyond. So don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for hitting the like button. What do we got? We got maybe 15. Holy catfish. We got 15 likes, I believe. Maybe that's how many people's here. 15. I don't know. I can't see it. I'm just having too much fun. Rich B, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Portacable, and I believe Delta. Wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. But no, the training, like I said, you just gotta, I think it's kind of, I always look at it like driving a car, right? We all have done the driver's training and I think there's some basic stuff, right? Hey, there's a red stop sign, stop. School bus, stop. But for the most part, when it comes to that stuff, they didn't tell you about all the crazy people that are on drugs and texting and, doing stuff they shouldn't be, that are drinking and they're rude and the icy roads and what the car is going to feel like and a blown out tire. And that's just stuff you have to go through life, right? That's why as us older people, why is this doing this? Cancel, whatever that is. Rusty's got something. Best way to learn is not watching a video, but by learning firsthand. Just get a job doing it for a year. Yes, that's true too. That is always true. You could always work for somebody. I feel like though, see, that's kind of what we run into. I really feel like if you're going to do that though, you almost need to find, and I guarantee there's people out there. I really do. Because, I've thought about it a little bit. I've thought about it a little bit because I deal with the rentals, right? And I thought about getting a complex or even just a single and letting people come and basically will put you to work. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna learn firsthand, because I think it's just if you go into a place, right? It's for an owner, right? And I guarantee there's a lot of guys that aren't going to say anything about it, but they struggle. And that's why most of these guys, right, are out in the field. They're owners and they're out in the field, right? It's tough. It's really tough to get out of the field. But as an owner, it's really tough too that you spend a lot of time with somebody, and you train them and all these things. And it really sucks because it's not like you can crack their head open and take that information out and go, oh, here comes the new guy. Let me input that or download that into them. And they're off to the races. Because you can spend all of 6 months a year just working on somebody. They go out and then they go, you know what? I know who your customers are or this or that. I'm going to take them. I'm going to, it's really tough. And some people obviously just, kind of are built for it because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. People don't realize in business the hours. That's the thing a lot of people don't see is the hours and hours behind the scenes to make and then to make something run is super tough. You want to come say hi? Oh, I thought maybe the kid would come say hi. Do 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 do. Rusty. This one's Oreo. This one's actually, if somebody needs an apartment cat, this is the apartment cat right here. Well, don't be shy. She's a little irritated. There's a young kitty now. And so everybody's getting pushed around a little bit. But this one's a good snuggler. Rusty, Bridgie says 84 for 4 with openers. Oh, crazy. Dang. Some big bucks. Do you want it down? You can get down, or you can sit on my lap if you want. I could always use the heat. Couldn't get a fire going. Caveman's going to die. Oh. That's less than I expected. Door guy, are you an employee or the owner? Employee. Could be a little off on price, but it's around that. Do. Hey, we got number 2. He says, how's it going? Busy day. What'd you do today? What were you working on? Holy crap. Look at the he's here. Papa Tony is here. Holy moly. What's up, boys? Tony, hope you're doing good. Tony, I was going to ask you, did you get that? Was it a 16 by 7? Did you get the 16 by 7 up? Finally, the one that you had frozen? I thought about honestly coming down. I was like, I'm going to help you with that door. And then I was like, no, I'm not. The roads are supposed to be crap. The weather's supposed to be crap. I was like, nope. I don't move that far when it's crappy roads and all that. I like to fly. I like my rubber on the road and not the ice. He's got sup, Tony. Frozen 16 by 7 though. I gotta get a slurp of water here. What'd you guys think of that opener I did? Man, that opener kicked my hiney. I think I got another version of that opener still coming out. That was the one that I was talking to one of you. I think it might have been Rich or something. I can't remember. It's been a minute, but yeah. Tech support never got back to me. The Power Master. Have to wait for the second part of it to come out. Rusty. Dave, if you raise your prices, you will get rid of the bad customers. What do I think about that? Rusty's always got some good stuff. Maybe. But see, like, I feel like it's kind of like a loaded, like, so for instance, right? For instance, and this can go all over the place, and I'm not putting a lot of thought in here, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of just spewing her out. So we got to take it with little grain of salt here, you know what I mean? But here's the thing, right? I know, I believe Rusty does it too and stuff like that. I think a lot of us do it, right? You go out and do these free estimates, right? You go out, you got to look at the job, right? And that's what these turn into. And that's where I start getting like irritated because there's been so many jobs, at least in our area, right, that we will get priced out. They're not really interested. Oh, we didn't know it was going to be that much. We're budgeting it we're budgeting it for next year. I've literally had the Coast Guard, one down in what was it? Down in Holland, Michigan. And every year it was like I finally figured out what they were doing. I didn't know this. So I go down there, I drive down there, and they're probably all of good 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes because they're kind of buried down there, and you go down there and look at it, right? Well, then after I realized they're like, we're looking for a budget number. I just every year would add $5,000 onto it. There's your budget number, you know. And so that's why it's like I'm always a big fan of trying to pre-qualify the customer. So if you get the oddball stuff, if you want to, in a sense, you could always tell them like, what are you looking for? That's why I like pictures. Because if you get a picture, I can pretty much tell you. You know what I mean? You're probably looking somewhere between, $2,000 and $5,000. Well, if it's 2,500, we were looking at somewhere between 2 and 3. Let me think about it. You can regulate it that way too, right? You can kind of go because you know how it is, right? When you're I always like that word, right? We're a contractor. We're a contractor. We're a con man. We are contractors. Whoops. And so I've always liked that, right? Because it's like you got to go there and you got to show up in the truck and everything, and you got to kind of, you got to con them into taking your bid, taking your job, and or getting their job. So it's always a weird, but I've had so many problems with the churches. Like I said, I think the only one I remember that went pretty smooth is they actually had an outbuilding, like a little shed. And I remember they were putting a garage door on it. That one went pretty smooth, but we've done like door closers. Look, any handyman can do a door closer, the automatic one, the hydraulic ones. But it's like they make us come out and like, it's like they put that number in there, but then they'd have Johnny do it, whoever, part of the church. And I was like, dude, it's like, please don't waste my time. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just say, we're looking to do this. Can you just shoot us a number, or just give me an estimate. I'd rather just give you the estimate. I'll send you the estimate through the email or whatever. And you can do whatever you want. But when I got to physically, that's why it irritates me in the business is that there, as us as contractors, right? Myself, everybody, we can spend so much time that we don't get paid for. And even when you think, it's like, well, I'm doing okay. Well, you got to factor in the unloading trucks and material. I just talked to my mechanic 2 days ago. And they were telling me that they are getting so much warranty work. And I'm like, warranty? What do you, and she's like, the parts are such garbage. And she's like, we are using the top of the line, parts. She's like, the quality control is absolute shit. And I'm like, I get it. It's just like when I talked to the framer the other, a couple weeks back, right? Building the house. He's like, can you get a 2x4 that's any good anymore? I mean, I'm even searching for 2x4s in the local lumber store. These things are junk. I mean, the quality control is just seemed like it's gone wild, and that sucks. It all affects us, right? We just had Cap was telling me, I think a service vehicle just went in, and he even mentioned, said, hey, he goes, I think we need to find a new mechanic. And I said, that's like trying to find a good garage door vendor, good luck. And, and the thing is, when you think about it, when you take it with a grain of salt, they could say the same thing about us, right? There's times that we could go out and do stuff. Maybe we forgot something. Maybe we left something. Maybe we didn't tighten a bolt or something. That happened 1 or 2 or 3 times. Let's hope not, right? And they go, maybe we need to find another garage door guy. You know what I mean? And it happens. That's why it's so hard to ever expand. I think that's why that's why you can there's the franchise, but it's really hard when you think about it, right? This is something I always think about. I'm a little bit weird, so please bear with me. When you think about it with the service industry, right? There is basically nothing. There's nothing. I've thought about this many, many times. There's nothing out there that's expanded to like across the nation. Now, yes, there is the Serve Pros and there is, right, but they're like franchise, right? There's an owner that runs that and they're just using their system, their name, right? But it's not like that one owner owns, maybe like ABC Roofing is the only one I can think of that might own the buildings, but then it turns into like McDonald's, right? McDonald's is actually a real estate company. There's the franchisees or whatever that own and run and they have to manage and deal with employees and all that kind of stuff. But when you think about it, like unless it's like a Walmart, right? Something that sells product that is on property. That's the only thing I ever see that expands, right? The Kmart, well, Kmart didn't make it. Sears, that didn't make it. Well, you know, but when you think about it, it's real estate is what blows my mind. So just weird things I think about. Let me know what you think. Rich equals tax shelter. Surprise, they don't offer to get the springs and get them tax exempt. They could have, man. This one was the shadiest one I have ever seen. Like I couldn't believe this bus garage. Like I said, the whole building was full up to our chest of these apple boxes. And after I started looking, I'm like, what's in these apple? Holy, there's food in here, like old food, expired food. It's like they must have had I don't know, like a food drive or something or whatever. And they said, will you take these? And they're like, yeah. And then they just stored them and then they got rotten and the whole thing was suspicious, man. I mean, I was just like, they got these kayaks, oh, we just got these from Sam's, they donated them, and I'm like, well, I guess I need to go there and be like, you guys, hey, Uncle Dave needs a few things. You donate a few things here too, please, because it didn't seem like they were going to be, I don't know. Like I said, when you went in this building, it was bad. It was bad. Something shady was going on. I'm only showing 4 thumbs up. Well, somebody needs to change that. I got maybe 11. I think that's what I'm seeing. So if cruising through, hit the thumbs up. It just helps wake up the algo. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate the questions. I love your ideas. Couldn't do it without you. So please put stuff in the comment if you want to, whatever you want to talk about, starting, getting into it, thinking about getting into it. If you're just standing, you kind of wait in the back, you don't want to touch that keyboard, go ahead, let it whip. I mean, anything, you can put anything. We're here for you. Good old rolling steel doors. Oh, the rolling steel. I'm not a fan of rolling steel. At least for our area, they're hard to seal, right? Especially like the header, they got that flap up there. The sides are hard to seal. I don't know. I mean, unless at least you don't have to deal with the tracks, but I don't like the fact that one day the spring's going to break. And then you got to try to figure out, is it the spring? Is it the opener? Is it something, you know what I mean? Like you just can't see it. I like those sectional doors where you can look and go, oh yeah, it's a broken spring. You see that right there, customer? Yeah. Separation's not good. I don't know. Security. Some people like them for security. They all got their place. I mean, Door Guy 06 is only do residential installs and service until Christmas. Ooh, Resis, huh? Getting that cash money. Resis are good for quick sales, quick money. It's kind of weird. I go in different spurts. You know what I mean? So for me, for a long time when I was really heavy into it, I would like commercial. I was like, don't even give me no residential, no resis. And I liked them. I liked going in my commercial. I knew my customers, I knew exactly what I had to do. I knew how to get in, to check in, what kind of safety protocols we had to do. You bring your scissor lift in, you're a big boy, you got big boy pants on. You go in there, pow, man, do your stuff. You bill them, you're already in their system. You already got the high insurance on it, but when they send you, you can charge more of a premium. There's no chasing, right? When residential always scared me because when you go there, right, even though you try to you try to get the secretary or yourself to make sure they get pictures, You felt like you're still always going into like kind of the unknown. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys ever play the game, but I kind of like look at the houses, right? As I'm like, 3, 3, 4, 6. Oh, please don't be that one. Please don't be that one. That one's full of crap. I don't want to go down. Oh, God. And then you're like, oh, that one's nice. And then you're like, oh no, the next one. Son of a, I knew I should have called in today. And then you go there, right? And then it's like, or like people are all parked in there, nobody moved the cars. You know what I mean? You're like, I guess they didn't know the door guy's coming. So then you got to go up, you got to walk in the door, right? The dog's taking a crap in the front yard. You got to go up there. You got to knock on the door, right? There's a side door. You already did the peeky peek, right? Like, there's a side door over there. And the side door hasn't worked in years because we got the snowblower in front of it. So you can come in. You can come, and I used to have like the footsies, the things you put over your boots and stuff like that to try to be, but some people, don't worry about coming in, right? And that's like all day you haven't had one piece of dirt come off your boot, but you walk in their house, right? And it's just like a sand pile just came from, and you're like, oh, I will clean. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Then you got to go in there, right? They show you and you're sitting there going, I wish I would have brought some tools with me. Now I got to make 3 trips out to my vehicle. I got to bring a ladder. I got to get my tools, and then what I would always do is I'd try to find a way. I'd be like, can I get this door up? Like, oh, it's got one broken spring and there's 2 springs in it. Oh, we're good. I just need somebody to hit the garage door button. Hey, man, can you hit that garage door button real quick for me? Get the door open up, get the springs measured up. I've done it with the doors open, what I mean? Checking wire size. All right, yeah. Get your springs in, get your ladder in, get your tools in there, bring a few extra power tools, shut the garage door right, do the hit the button and do the run, help it so you don't totally burn up the gear inside that old Craftsman up there and do your thing. So, but now I've kind of like, I stay away a little bit from the commercial because it can rope you in. Because those guys know me and it will turn into a 2-hour talk fest. Not bad. I love my commercial. I love those customers. Those are great people, but I don't want to spend 2 hours talking. So the resis don't know me. It's like, I like the resis now. It's weird how things change. Tony says, no, I didn't get that door put in. He says, I've been swamped. What have you been working on, Tony? What's been swamped? What do you just a lot of service rollers? I think I seen you had a roller thing out today. The roller coaster. I wanted to watch that one. That's a good one, right? We got the roller coaster. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. The rollers are getting bad. That's a good indication. It's good to be swamped though, MJ says I own an appliance repair company now. Ooh. I've been pretty good customer base that I've built up for over the years. I'm going to add garage door repair as an additional service. Man, I think you got it made. I think that's a great idea. You know what I mean? You already got the customers. Garage doors, openers are basically an appliance. You know what I mean? They got the whole 8, 10, 12, 15 years. They're going to go kapoofy and they need parts and all that kind of stuff. Now, I guess the only question I have for you, MJ, would be now, do you as of right now, do you actually go out in the field and service or do you have everything come to you? Because there's a couple companies in town that like everything comes to them. They're just like, they do like microwaves and that's about it. I don't even think maybe they do, but I just hardly ever see them. There's a good old boy that's, that I know that does appliance. I think he's in his darn near 80s, late 80s. That's out running around and he knows his stuff. It's kind of weird because he's actually my old business partner, grandpa, and he doesn't really know me. I've only seen him, through town. He drives a little old 2-wheel drive Chevy pickup truck, probably like a 1994 clean truck, man. Topper on it's like a brown color. But anyways, my parents had a younger guy come out. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. I was kind of listening to him. I thought he was on track, but he never came back and they couldn't get a hold of him anymore. Well, then they had him, the other guy come out, the older gentleman, my business partner's grandpa. I didn't even know. He said, man, like in 5 minutes, he knew what it was. He had the part on his truck and he got it fixed up and it was for like 80, $90. He got it fixed for him. And I was just like, I was super happy because I didn't have to carry I think it was think it was the dryer. I had to carry the dryer out of the basement, so that was cool. But it was amazing that he had that knowledge. I know he's really good with what he does. So the only thing is you're gonna go out and I'm just curious if you go out and take care of that stuff already. So I mean that's right up your alley. If you're already out there with a truck and vehicle or van. And MJ, also, what do you use? Do you use like a small minivan? Do you use a full size truck? What do you? I'm just curious. I'm just curious what you use. Tony says, I can't say enough good things about Service Spring. Call today to order a 16 by 6.6. They told me they have it ready tomorrow. Wow. And he says, unheard of. So impressed. Wow. That is amazing. A 6.6. Now the question will be, will they get it right? That's cool. That's cool that they even have it, offer it. It's amazing. Service Spring does a really good job. I'm impressed with Service Spring too. They've always been so there you go, MJ. You got to remember too, you got to eventually get in with Service Spring, which I'm assuming you already have some vendors. They can probably qualify you, but Service Spring does a great job. Door guy, it's different every time, which is good and bad. Yes, for the residential, it is. It is. I mean, that's what I've always liked about the industry. It's always a challenge, right? There's nothing that's quite ever the same. So, I mean, that's always good. You know what I mean? It's just, how do you say it? Like when I was doing, when you're kind of in business, um, this is just my opinion, and for the company, it turns into like I've always had it, but I never had anybody tell me it. But I always had it in my gut feeling that loyal customers are your best customers. And the reason I say that is because when you think about it, what I always liked about loyal customers, and the only way I really ever got loyal customers was in the commercial, is because you're already in their system. They already took the time to get your insurance and your pay, your invoices and everything in their system, whatever they have to have, and you just send them a bill. And it just goes, and you know what to expect. Like they know what to expect, and you know what to expect. Like and it's like once you build that clientele up, it's really nice because it's like when guys ask me, what advertising? I'm like, bro, we haven't advertised in years. Um, it just keeps growing. It's like organic, you know what I mean? For one, we have our loyal customers. Things change here and there. A company sells out or something changes and that, but still we're kind of in their system. So they'll either sometimes recommend us. We're still in their system. So they just keep calling. And you'll have some guys that'll change in power. And then there's a couple out there that'll be just like, nope, I got my buddy. He works at another garage door company. I'm going to use him. But the residential, it can be very difficult sometimes because if you don't, that's why I always say we're either a tow truck driver or we're the firemen, right? The tow truck driver is because how fast can you be here? How soon can you do it? My car's stuck. I need my spring changed. So that's why I'm always the tow truck driver. And then I always think of the fireman, right? Because when a fireman comes, you want him to have, right, all the right equipment. His vehicle needs to be clean. It needs to have the right hoses and adapters and cones and hats and safety gear. Well, that's how our trucks have to be because when you go to residential, right, you bring a 16-foot shaft. Crap, this customer's got an 18-foot shaft that's bent, torsion tube. Now I got to run and, you know what I mean? And not that it can't happen with commercial. It just seems like commercial, it's always more like, you get broken springs, but most of our customers, we've taught them to carry the extra springs. So when we're here, that's going to save you money. We can, and they'll store it because they got the building to do it. So they got the springs. We normally, bring in a scissor lift anyways because it's commercial. But the loyalty, like I said, it's just so much better than I feel like you're chasing the residential. You know what I mean? Residential is good too, especially when things get slow. They're good, quick, easy money. Commercial, it's tied up. It's tied up for 15, 30, 60 days. I don't ever try to do the 90s. They want to do 90. You probably ought to call our competition. Just things to think about. So hopefully I can, just make you think, you know what I mean? And there's no right or wrong way. It's just, You just got to do, you got to do what you got to do. Door guys, he says, I got a 16x8 Canyon Ridge 5 layer. Ooh, 5. And one 9x8 Canyon Ridge, also 5 layer by myself. Gonna be fun. Ooh, man. Yeah. Oh, what is, was that? Is that 19? Oh, one 9x8. How long will it take you to do that? I'm just curious. Is it, I'm assuming new construction, no tear out. So, I mean, like a pretty full day. And then is it going to have openers or no openers to hook up yet? Which state are you in, door guy? I see he's down there. He says Winnipeg. Rich B says worst one I had was 2 broken springs. And the garage door was jam packed full of stuff because they moved in, had to come back. Oh yeah. After made a 2-foot path in front of the door. We did one in our, what we call the Heights, and it's basically it's a miniature mini Detroit. And I remember we literally pushed the man door on the side of the door. We're pushing it to get open. My business partner, he like stuck his head and he's like, he turns around, he's like, no effing way. No effing way. And I mean, he just started walking towards the vehicle. I'm like, it probably, I mean, it was above our head of stuff, just stuff. I told the guy, I said, hey man, I said, there ain't nothing we can do with this. I said, we're gonna have to, you gotta clean this up. Oh, well, he says, he goes, man, he goes, I thought you did the garage door from the outside. Nope. Nope. You see the tracks and stuff. We got to get to all that. And the opener, I said, nope. I said, you know what I mean? Kind of another reason, right? Why I'm always talking about pictures, 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 right, Evan? If Evan's still here, Evan, put pictures, 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 pictures. You know what I mean? Pictures. Get pictures, because if we had a picture of the inside, the secretary, whoever, the foreman at the time, the technician would have said, did you tell him he's got to have that cleaned out? But this guy acted totally like, I thought you guys did it from the outside, and he already had it. I think we were there to do a door install. And so, what I mean, now it's loaded up in the van. We got 2 technicians there. I mean, it's just like, now we got to go back to the shop. The schedules all got to get changed. Come on, man. Rusty, Winnipeg. That's awesome, door guy. Glad to hear you give us a different perspective. Heck yeah, exactly. Tony, my supplier, and I can call at 7 a.m. Have the door by noon. Dang, we should have a challenge. We should have a challenge. See which one is that? Is that DoorLink, Rich? Which, I'm just curious what company that one is. Is that Joe? He showed us. Rich just showed us some pictures. It looks like the mafia, like in New York somewhere. MJ says, I make house calls. Okay, my service vehicle is a Dodge Grand Caravan without seats. I'm looking to upgrade soon. Ooh, MJ, what are you gonna I'm curious, what are you thinking about upgrading to? Like a heavier duty van or a truck or a certain year or make or model? Put it in the comments. I'm just kind of curious. The old minivan. Let's see here. What is this one? Jack shaft. 98022, new construction. Oh, new construction, full day for sure. Yeah, that would definitely be, if you're doing openers even, dude, that'd be a solid, like, I'd probably make that like a day and a half or 2 days, honestly, for myself. I'd probably do the doors the one day, depending on what the outside, see, it all depends, right? If it's sandy soil on the outside and I got to be leaning up on ladders, and then does it have glass? If it's got glass, that's more time, strut, trying to get it up there safely, all that kind of stuff. But I don't like to work those long days like I used to. I'm more of I like to do my 6-8 hours and I'm done. Rich B sounds like the same hood. Yeah, it's like I said, that's why I'm always like, you got to just get those pictures, man. Those pictures are so important. Um, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, because like I said, people they end up like, they always are. It's like you can be in such a rush. You know what I'm saying? Like you can always be like, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta get out there for that customer. No, no, that customer might not have your best intentions at heart. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand how valuable your time is. And, they can waste your time because they just don't understand. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole Angie's List and Home Advisor and stuff like that. When, you know, 3 people would show up, and it was like whoever made it there first. And the customer's like, I don't know. I just called and I didn't tell them anything. I called, 3 different places. I called Angie's and Home Advisor and I called 2 door companies. And it's like, well, you couldn't call them back. Well, no, I just trying to get my door fixed, so it's just, you just never know what they're going to do. But like I said, if it would have had pictures, even if it was a generic picture, outside, inside, right? Just an overall, just to get a glimpse of like, whoa, something looks off, man. Like, I mean, why is there stuff stacked next to the garage right there? Like, whoa, let's slow the pony down here. Where even I've had my wife, I made a mistake, secretaries made the mistake where it's like, you gotta get those pictures, man. I mean, it's just, unless it's some sweet old lady and she's a widow, or it's a sweet old man and he's like, I can barely even pick up the phone call. That's when I start. I normally try to do one once a month. I call it a good deed, my donation. But when I go to the place and they go, do you want to donate? I did my donation. I donated an opener, a door, or a fix, or a service, or a repair, you know what I mean, for somebody. Because there's just people out there. You know how it is. When you get there, you're like, man, they're hurting. You gotta, gotta hold. One day you're gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Where did I stop here? Mr. Tony. Tony's not show up. Are we getting to that freeze? Oh, what's going on? Why did we lose our? Why can we not bring Mr. Tony? We're still running, so we're live. Oh, I look like I freeze for a minute on this, so am I freezing? Am I freezing? Freeze. Okay, here we go. We're back on, I think. I can see my picture frozen. Tony popped up. Let's see what anybody puts. Tony doing the same. Yep. I'm going to wait for this freeze to come undone for a second before I start jumping in this, because I can tell on my end that it did freeze. So you're not missing nothing. I'm just sitting here waiting for me to unfreeze. It must be the snow. All right. So Tony's got, says the winds still freezing. Oh no. Rich is already texting me. Still freezing. I know. Why am I still freezing? That's software. It's because it's getting cold out. Says the winds still freezing. Oh no. Rich is already texting me. Perfect. Says you can hear me now. So the winds are whipping. Who's working tomorrow? So I'm only if I have to. But Tony's got. Yeah, I agree. I will be sheltered. I'll be sheltered in place. I told Cap. I sent him the weather. I said, "Are you watching the weather?" He says, "I'm already preparing for guys to be inside, probably doing preventative maintenance." Luckily, we got some big customers, nice heated buildings. Door guy, 4 windows. Oh no, 4 windows and the 16x8, 2 windows, and the 9x8. Also snowed here quite a bit. 25 centimeters of snow. So Might make it 2 days. Yeah, I don't think I would kill myself on that. I would be okay with 2 days. I'd be just fine with that, if that's what it took. And thanks for the information, Rich. Mr. Rich B. RB. Um, Rich has got Tony doing the same. I probably should say it. Um, it's I used to really try and fight it, right? The weather. And I don't recommend it. I really don't recommend it. You are trying to fight Mother Nature. It's amazing. I think when I really learned my lesson is quite a few years ago, but we were working on a fence job, super hot out. And I remember my business partner at the time, he's like, dude, he's like, next week it's supposed to be 20 degrees cooler. And I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm like, we got to get this job done. And this is our only time because then the next week we got the other job going. Like, we got to get this. And the first day we fried, man. I mean, the next day we were sunburned so bad that I literally had to, I had to look like those guys, that ride the camels in, in the desert. I had a hat and I had a t-shirt, going down my neck area. I had long sleeves on, I had gloves on, I had long pants on. I mean, we were dying. And man, the next week was gorgeous. And I was like, you know what? I was like, this is the stupidest thing I ever did. You know what I mean? Like, this job did not have to, there was no reason for it. It was just we had a window and we got burned bad. And I brought guys in, and some of these guys, they don't work. They just won't work. Not saying like good or bad, but like they'd come in, man, the roads are horrible. I can't believe blah blah. And I'd be like, look, I'm like, I know, like, you had like 3 or 4 service calls today. I'm like, just get one done because we would get so backed up. I mean, we had so much work. And I remember one time one of the guys, he like literally went down the road. I don't know how much of it, but he's like calling me on the phone. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I just had somebody roll over in front of me. I just had to pull him out the front windshield. I'm taking the truck back. And I'm just like, okay, like, go for it. Like, what am I going to say? Right. What am I going to do? Cause he's that type, you could tell, where it's like, if I said anything else, he was just going to like smash the truck deliberately into a pole and be like, I told you it wasn't good conditions out here, you know? Tony, I'm working 6 days a week for the next month or two to stay caught up. Oh man. Oh, take it easy, slow, slow, slow. Maybe two. Rich here. Look at Rich. Mr. Rich B plus 25 centimeter equals 9.84 inches. Love it. I love it. I love it. Rusty, too, just something to think about. I'm just kind of curious. I'm going to go back. I see it's 6 days right here, right, Rusty? Are you, Rusty? I'm just curious. Are you thinking about ever, are you going to get some employees, or what's your exit plan? What's going to be kind of like your to get out of the field in a sense? Like, are you ever thinking about, bringing in some help, because it sounds like you got the work and you got, the numbers, man. So, I mean, you could, um, you know, yeah, Dory says Rich B. He says, yeah, not fun. Mm, Rich has got a bet. Peter, look at Peter. He's got this. What's that guy called again? I can't think of it. Why can't I think of it? I can see them talking. What's that little symbol of? Have to let me know. That's a pretty cool one. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing good. But no, I mean, I was just thinking, Rusty. Like, I was thinking, well, maybe it's, if the numbers are good. Like I said, if you could bring in a guy that could relieve a couple jobs during the day, or I wonder if you could ever sub. If you could find a sub door guy. I don't know. It's tough. It is tough. What's Rich got here? It says Peter. But nope, the snow, it sounds like it's coming and then it's a going, is what it sounds like. It's kind of weird weather right now. Economy's weird, the weather's weird. Ooh, I'm gonna look at this real quick too. See if my light works. I think there we go. Because door guy says, what do you guys use to cut angle? Good question. I want to look for this too to see if make sure this is the same one that Tony's using. If they got it. I'm not real familiar with this book, so I'm kind of fumbling around. I could look at the how many of you guys use this company? The Resource. 18, so it's a little old. Does anybody use Resource? Crap, it wasn't Resource, so was it? That's not where you were getting those cutters from, but I wonder if they got the same ones. I got remotes in the front. It's so much different than Service Spring. Let me see if I got the manual in the front here. Tools. Here we go. Cable 157. 157 it starts. 157. All right. Because I'd be interested in, let's see here what we got. Nope. Definitely not it. Holy crap, maybe they don't even have the cutters. They don't have the cutters in here? Let me check the angle. They call it angle iron perforated, which they have. Adjustable. Well, be darned. Maybe they don't. Angle flag, lower headroom. Doesn't look like they have the angle cutters. I'm really surprised they don't have angle cutters. Maybe I'm not seeing them. Just trying to whip through them. I'm trying to think if who likes these? Which ones do you prefer? I carry three, I guess, three different ones, right? It'd be this guy, right? The spring tool. Oh, right here. The wire gauge or this. What are these called? These are the leaf spring wire gauge stainless steel. I actually like carrying both. I carry the I don't know, I call it like a ruler, the ruler type for broken springs, and I like the gauges too. I actually have the residential and commercial. And then I also like to have a tape measure. Those are my three kind of go-to. Because I've been tricked a little bit. Oh, what is this? Dude, they got the real deal one? I didn't know this company had the real deal one. This is called an open throat shear. Dude, no way. Dude, no way. Look at this. I didn't even know. Do you see this? That's, I think, what I wanted that I thought was bulletproof. It's expensive. Was it $626? Open throat shear. I bet that's what it was that guy had. 34, 4 and 1/16 blade. See, that's what I was thinking. He nipped each side of the angle when he did it. And then I don't know if anybody's ever used this. I've never seen nobody use this. I don't know if any one of you guys ever use this. The steel hole punch. So you just have regular angle and then you just punch your own holes. I don't know about that. I think I just steal my perforated angle. I don't think that would be, I don't know what that would be useful for. I can't say I've ever felt like I need that, but that I trust that more than those ones. I like that they got, I think it has replaceable blades, which I like. But man, for $626, that's probably why I didn't buy one. Because if that falls off the truck or it gets feet and walks away, somebody wants to take it home to make their race car. Shear flat. It can do 10 gauge rounds. Let's see, mild steel 7/16 something height. Okay, dang, I didn't know they had that still. Huh. It's crazy. I don't know. Do. But for angle, most time I use the bandsaw 18M Milwaukee M 18 volt. But Rich got me onto the M12. I'd like to get my hands on one of those too. Door guy used Denko Pro Cutter angle 235. Oh, 235 this month. That's right. Tell him Papa Tony sent you. They'll give you the discount along with the Surewinder. Rusty says, Dave, I have no desire to get out of the field. He said, I love to do doors and service. It's my brother and I now, he says, and we can hire another guy if he existed. Yeah. He says, we're doing almost a million a year. He says with 2 people. That's nice. Peter, the family guy. That's what it was. Family guy. Got a million. Dun, dun. Door guy, are you working for yourself or Evan? Oh, Evan's got it. Okay, door guy, are you working for yourself or a company? I thought he said, did he say he's an employee? I thought maybe in the other comments. I'm using Milwaukee M18 grinder at the moment. Works pretty good. Or tin snips, depending on. Dang, tin snips? How do you cut that with tin snips? I'd like to see your tin snips. Dude, you need to send me a picture of your tin snips. It must be pretty crazy. See, the only thing is, and everybody's got their, it's like perimeter weather seal, right? Perimeter weather seal people have their own preference, right? They one of the guys I know is like using a skill saw. Some people like using a razor blade. Some use those multi cutters like I do. Some use what was it? Some of them were using bandsaw, sawzall, But I guess for me, I've noticed like what I don't like about the grinders. It used to be at least with the DeWalt's. I used to have the M18s, not M18s, 18 volts. The old 18 volts, right? Man, the grinders would eat up the battery so fast. And then I didn't like the debris, right? I didn't like debris whipping out. If you caught the angle or something, or it was chipped, or it seemed like the grinder would always get the blade broken, at least how we store them in our bins and stuff. So I was never a big grinder fan. And then the other problem is that a lot of times we get into sometimes our commercial, and there's just some old stuff around, sometimes insulation. You're like, I don't know if that's going to burn or that's not going to burn, but I don't like sparks flying because then they, especially if you're in a fire area too, they get kind of funny about that stuff. So I just never been a grinder person. And I think it's kind of like, I don't know about you guys. Sometimes it feels like food. You know what I mean? Like, how like winter comes and maybe you feel more like you want some oatmeal. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe some cereal at certain times, or sometimes you want the steaks, or sometimes, you want the hot dogs. That's how I feel like sometimes the tools can go. You know what I mean? Like that can go on for quite a few years. And all of a sudden you come across something, you're like, I like using the bandsaw, or maybe you start liking to use the grinder. It's just weird how it kind of changes. Door guy 06, he says, with the company. He goes home at night and sleeps like a baby. Lucky. Rich B says he's in Milwaukee, a 12 volt bandsaw, which is pretty sweet, I must say. I kind of want one. So I'm waiting for Rich to win the Mega Millions, and maybe he'll send me a 12 volt bandsaw, Milwaukee, please. Door guy 06. Let's see here. Door guy 06. I see. So I'm doing my own thing out of, as this says, Brandon. Dun, 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 dun. Rich B says I have both, but use the gauge tool and tape measure. Yeah. I used to start out because that's all I had. I had the tape measure, but I always made sure I used I verified, right? You always do the, you do the 10 coil count and then you do the 20 coil count because that can get a little fuzzy sometimes. And that's why I just started using the gauges. It's quicker, it's faster for me. Because you get some weird size sometimes, and they are so close, and you're like sitting there, like it's almost like your eyes will play with you, and you're like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you're like counting. Like I used to count like with a pen. I always had a pen in my shirt, so I'd always count. And you'd be like, man, it's really right in between two different wire sizes, and you're like, I really don't want to get this wrong. It's a big commercial spring, and it's expensive. It's $400, $500, $600 our cost just for the spring. I hate to really mess this up. Rusty's guy says, I use the ruler. A lot of guys would always keep them in their visors in the trucks. I didn't like when they did that because they always get the visors all dirty. Like, put that in your bucket. Rich B says Tony can buy it on Marketplace. There you go. Probably gets a deal, man. He'll send you the one with glass. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. Well, it's got glass. Oh, a little inside joke. Oh man. Tony gets it. Yeah, anytime, Tony, you get good deals, man. Buy it up. I'll buy it from you. I'm ready. I'm ready to upgrade. I'm ready to go to a Surewinder. I'm going to one day. I am going to be a big boy. Tony's Garage Store Service. He says, I'm all about. He says, what is significant and makes me the most money the fastest? Yeah. Whatever gets you there, baby. Get you there the fastest. Bull tin nips will cut it. But you end up looking like Popeye with those arms. I gotcha. Yeah, I've never seen anybody cut them tin snips. I think I've seen people try, especially with like the ones that you just buy from like Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot, like the where they got the green and they got a yellow, and then they like that, and it's pretty brutal. It's like, go get the grinder. What else do you got? You got a sawzall? Well, I'm out of blades. Get the drill holes in it and break it off. Do whatever you got to go do. Door guy says I'm a lead tech, but by myself. He says, so I do on call as well. On 5 weeks schedule, he says, with other techs. Nice. Door guy, what do you got what do they give you for like a service vehicle? Is it like a full van? Is it a truck? Is it a crew cab? Is it Chevy, Dodge? What is it? I don't even want to put this one up. Look at Tony just rubbing it in. That boy Dave. Also just used Walt tin snips. Man, it's not gonna be door guy, it's gonna be Popeye. That's some hardcore stuff, man. I'd be using the grinder all day. I tell you what, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Let's just use the grinder. I don't need no tin snips. Tin snips just sound wrong. It's like, to me, it's like using like a pruner, right? For your garden or something, or for your roses. No, thank you. Tony says, how many commercial springs you got sitting in the shop that you measured wrong? Ooh. I've got one right off. He says 165 F-up. There's quite a few. We actually got quite a few springs. Because at one time I was on this little bandwagon that any spring, like, I didn't have the size for, I would literally tell the secretary, or when I was getting them through service spring or whatever, I'd order it, right? Like there's a 283 or something weird, 273. And I needed one that was like, 4 or 6 inches longer than what we had. I'd be like, order me 2 two, that is, two 10-footers, a right hand and a left hand. And so we got kind of a pile, at least of the resis for the most part. I never went down that road. I kind of wanted to. We had this one customer. He was kind of always a jerk. They were one of those customers. It was a steel company. I won't say the name unless I accidentally slip. But it was a steel company, and they had those. You guys know what I'm talking about. They got that track system, right? That whole track system that picks up big coils and steel, and tube steel and all that, flat steel. They had all kinds of steel here, right? That's what they sell for the average person, right? Big building though. I don't know. It's maybe 60 wide by way long. It's almost like a quarter mile. It seems like. Um, but anyways, it was always a really sketchy situation, and this is kind of like one of those things, like I guess in a nutshell, like I don't give people my attention if they start not appreciating our service, if that makes sense. So like, for instance, just one off time, right? This guy called, we were going to, it was the LC Walker Arena at the time to go watch it was a Fury, it was a hockey game. And he literally called when I was driving back, cruising through town, and it was like, "Hey man, we got an employee or somebody tried to bring the door down and it hit something or whatever. It's crooked, like, you know." And I'm like, "Well, you're lucky. Like, I'm cruising through town right now. I can stop, or if you're there and give me a hand." Things like that, right? Just a lot of one-off, like helped him out after hours and stuff. Well, this guy, and I understand that he has a boss, right? But he was younger. We used to deal with an older guy that didn't seem like was such a problem. But this younger guy, he would constantly, they had probably 4 to 6 different doors, right? Like some of their doors were pretty much all the same size. They're all like 14 by 14s for semis to come in, to drive in. They get the crane and stuff and pull them off. Place was old, it was dingy, but you always had to be on the rail, and they never wanted to kill the power, you know what I mean? So you always had to pretty much always have 2 guys there, one watching the crane, right? And it wasn't like, I never felt really threatened, right? Because they were a long ways away, and they knew we were up there and stuff for the most part, even though you're technically, supposed to power it out, lock out, tag out. But we're always in a situation where you could easily get out of the way. You know what I mean? Now I still know that's not the safest, but anywho, we worked with them, right? And it just like, man, it was just like, but anyways, like they'd break springs, and some of their doors had 4 springs on them. Some of their doors had 2 springs on them, and they were nothing that were the same. It wasn't like a 262 or whatever it is, or 290, whatever wire. They're all different, and I told them, so door would go down, and then it'd be like, whoa, and I didn't like the fact that he was not standing up for us. And I would even tell him, I say, let me talk to your boss, which I knew his boss moved up. He used to be one of our, he was basically my boss or whatever. And I told him, I said, if you want these sooner, I said, you got that upstairs. I said, where your maintenance room is, all that room up there. I said, we can easily get you another set of springs. Oh, well, I talked to the boss guys and they don't really want to spend the money. Okay. Well, then get off my butt about having springs on hand. All our other customers have no problem, see the benefit in having it. We show up, the springs are there. They're going to use them at some point. You know what I mean? And so anyways, he just kept constantly grinding us. So finally, I think we bid an opener, and our bid came in like $500 higher than the competition or something. So he ended up using them. And you know how it goes, right? They're all kissing butt for a while, right? Well, the service started weaning, right? And he tried to sneak back in. He ended up contacting me first through the back door somehow. Oh, hey man, how's it going? What do you want? You know, oh, I was just checking to see how things, fine. What do you need? You know, oh, no, nothing. Well, I found out a couple days later. Then he talked to Cap, and Cap was like, I want nothing to do with that. He's like, that job was always like just a pain, man. I mean, it's like they need sections. We need it now. Well, then carry some in stock, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Stuff happens. You're gonna have to wait on it. And I know it's because they like to drive through the building. They have other doors, but it's just they like to have semi stacked. And it's like, but anyways, what I was gonna do is they were kind of my first one to be a guinea pig where I thought I'm gonna start stocking. Like I'll stock theirs, but I could use it for other commercial customers. Um, but I could actually, as far as I know, is there's nobody on the west side of the state that I know that has commercial springs. You know what I mean? I've been to a lot of vendors. Nobody has them. It might be a one-off, but I thought if you had the wire and you might have something there where you might be able to charge a premium, like they'll start learning that, hey, this guy actually has those springs. We can use them because I'd love to sell more product out the door than to do the installs, right? Because when you sell product out the door, it's so much easier. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's not as big of money, but oh, I'm sorry, those photo eyes and that brand new opener I sold you are not working. That's weird. I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and bring those back. You can move on to another customer, right? You're taking out all that time and the variables and the road conditions. Like when I went down to Arizona and I was working with another door company down there, I thought I was going to shoot myself. I mean, I was in like a 6-lane highway and I'm stuck in traffic. I'm like in myself going, if I ran a damn garage door business down here, I don't know how I'd make any freaking money. Like, I mean, I'm sitting in traffic for like 2 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going like, so if I'm trying to get like two, three, four, six service calls done today, and I can only get three because I can't control the traffic, how's this going to work? You know what I mean? And so it was insane. It was insane. Things to think about. Door guy. It says work truck, same one I use for installs. It says bring home every day. Got a company gas card. Life is good. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. All that good stuff. That's always nice. Tony got 8x8 roll up door sitting that was supposed to be 8.2. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. Marketplace for not even half the price. Or anyway, if you get a builder, we got a builder that's pretty good about he'll eat that stuff up, especially if it's his fault. Like he's like, just bring it to our shop. We'll find somebody. We'll build it for somebody. And that's always kind of nice. But we had one roll door went out for pretty cheap because it was just going to sit and rot away. Tony says, I got a 420 panel. I went off strut sticker. Big mistake. Whoa. Went off the strut sticker, huh? I'm kind of curious on that, Tony. I got a 420 panel. He says I went off the strut sticker. What got you on that? I'm just curious. Was it like the model or the width? The height of the section? Just kind of curious. Again, more details on that. Do. Cranes are DC. You don't want to hit that. Ooh, no. I knew. Luckily, the high voltage was on the other side from where we were always working, down the center. So that was always kind of nice. But yeah, you definitely they have those little plastic guards on there, but you don't want to monkey with those. But there'd be somebody, you'd watch it coming, and sometimes, they were stopping. You don't know though, so you're yelling, hey, oh yeah, man, can't be doing that crap. You know what I mean? I didn't mind it in a sense. I try to use common sense. Because it's like you shut them down. Now they're standing there watching you. You guys almost done? No. Yeah. I mean, this is already hard enough. Plus, we had to have a special harness that go to beam, so we could wear a harness. That place was a pain. It just wasn't worth it every time. I mean, I think he asked me one day, he called me, and he needed some. They smashed into the side of the door, and like I said, this place was, I think it was roughly 4 foot of block. The concrete, and everything is crumbling, right? The track is doing the whole jiggles. They're crooked and bent and twisted. And they constantly just did not want to, like you were just like, well, what do you think? And you're just like, I don't even know. It's like, you ever come across those doors where you're just like, I don't even want to tear this damn thing out because I know there's going to be so many variables. And then when I tear it out, you're going to be sitting there scratching your head going, hey guys, yes, and you need a new door, but after I tore this out, your jam is really jacked up. Like it sucks. Like everything's crumbling. Like I don't even know if my new door is going to fix this thing. Like everything is stepped in 6 inches to spaced out to globbed with concrete to sheet metal to red steel to and then it's like they weren't really sticklers, but it's almost like they kind of had that, like you put a new door in and it'd be like, why can we still see light? Why can you see light? Did you not see your wall is 1 foot different on each side? The whole thing is shifted, or beveled in. I mean, that's not us. Oh, well, I thought you guys were going to fix that. Hell no, we ain't going to fix that. You know, just all kinds of weird stuff. What I mean? It's just not a good customer. It was just like, I'm so glad we don't. And they weren't too far away, but what always got me is he's a friend of mine, actually. He's competition, but they're right down the road. I mean, like literally, like you would turn, like, I mean, you could throw a rock. And I was always like, why is she using this guy over here? I think he did a little bit, and he said, I'm out. What I mean? He was always more residential than commercial, but I just thought, hey man, this one's right down the road. You got a scissor lift. Like, you do this customer. This customer crummy. Do 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 do. Tony says, Rusty says, I got 10 roll up 9x7. A guy never came, picked up. Oh, or did he pay for it? Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. So, Tony, when you're saying like roll up, are you talking are we talking storage unit roll up or rolling steel? Or are we just talking sectional, like a roll up door? You know what I mean? Because that all can vary. Like 9x7s, are they white? They're just sections. Not so bad. Maybe you could sell those, but rolling or storage marketplace, baby. Ooh, which bags are you guys using? So I'm using the Milwaukee 20-inch pack out tote. Ooh, nice. Door guy, it'd be cool. Like I said, if you get a chance, if you got my email, if you want my number, I'll give you my number too. Send me some pictures. I'd love to see this stuff. This would be pretty cool. Because like when I think of the bags, like I use what do I got? I went back. I got the Husky with the rollers on it that you get like at the Home Depot. It's got the telescoping thing. I just really feel comfortable in those. I had a Milwaukee pack out just box that was sealed. It's kind of nice from the back of the truck because if it ever got rain, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right. Everything was just clobbered into it. So I went back to the old Husky bag. I used to use a bucket. Bucket was a big go-to. Some of the guys still use the buckets in the vans. The buckets work good. They're kind of an emergency if you have to. Number 2 or whatever, you dump everything out. They're a lot of pain, so you normally didn't. You just found, you go off in the woods and do your business, or another bucket. But they worked really good. Put all your tools and stuff, throw stuff in, nuts and bolts. Tony says, yeah, Dave, it was Clopay, and I think like a 4300. Door ended up being like MDP 38 from Menards. Oh, wow. Wow. Man, I feel you, man. Man, I guess it's live and learn, right? Just live and learn. Dang, that's a bummer. Never know. Never know. Rusty says, never trust a Clopay strut sticker, especially Clopay. Says they will the wrong size model because they don't stay with the door after shipping to distributor. Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah. I mean, and I've done it myself, you know what I mean? Where, I've had some certain doors. I've talked about this before. I normally particularly like, I get into those weird situations where I'm doing a commercial door and I'm like, why are we one strut short? Or like, like I'm doing something and I'm like, just put 2 more struts on this thing, everything look like it should. Cause I just know, and I've had it happen, not very often, but sometimes you get a bill or someone walks by and it's like, why did you put the strut? Like, are you missing struts? And I you know how it is. Like I look back at my own work and I just go, I just want it to look all uniform. And so I put struts, I pulled struts from the shop and it's like, you see the sticker on it, you go, this ain't really a Wayne Dalton putting on a Clopay or whatever. Yeah, whatever. It just had the right sheen to it and looked pretty close or whatever, Those struts will screw you. Dun-dun-dun. Oh yeah, Tony says I'm talking like storage unit roll-up doors. Dang. And here's the thing too, right? I'm glad Tony mentioned this. Like so something I've learned, just something I do. Not that you gotta do it, right? Don't follow me because I don't know nothing. I don't deal with storage doors. I just cannot buy them cheap enough. I tell everybody that comes to me and they go, "I want to buy a storage unit door." I go to Menards. Because what I found out, at least for our vendors, is that what happens is the shipping. The door itself, not too bad. But by the time you put shipping on there, because ours have to come on a flatbed or they got that little rubber thing, the thing that covers it. But they have to come that, and then they won't come on a normal truck, right? Normal distributing centers truck. They'll come on a separate subcontractor. And so like our rolling steel will do the same. And that always sucks because I've had to unload these guys at 8 o'clock at night, sometimes 10 o'clock at night, because they call me and they're like, "Hey, like, and I'm a nice guy. I've done truck driving. I get it." So I'm like, and they're like, "If I could get your stop done, I could shoot back up north or I can go back down south." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I guess I'm not gonna read my kid a lullaby story tonight. That's fine." And so I don't mind. Whatever. It is what it is. And so I'll go meet them. And then of course, sometimes that turns into a can of worms, right? Because maybe it's going to I've had them go to shops and then it turns into where I go, Hmm. If it was normal business hours, I've already talked to them. They said we could use their forklift. And I didn't realize they don't run second shift anymore or whatever. And so now we're using 2x4s to let this thing slide down. But, anyways, the storage unit doors, I cannot find them any cheaper. The cheapest is always Menards. I don't know about the other stores like Home Depot or Lowe's, but Menards is always the cheapest because people always are looking. And so I really don't like storage unit doors. I just don't even mess with them. I always tell people, I even told a family member they wanted to buy one from us. And the wife Tron was like, go to Menards and buy one. And I said, that's going to save me. I said, because it's going to be cheaper. I said, for one, and then I don't have to deal with the truck that's going to randomly show up for one door, right? One door. Yeah, it turns into a can of worms. Those darn roll up doors, they'll get you. They'll get you. Tony says, "Yeah, Rusty, it's exactly it. Me being lazy, I knew better, man. I tell you, it'll bite you sometimes. Just how it goes, you know. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't think I'll stay on here too much longer because I know my system will lock up at roughly about. Well, I mean, if there's a few more comments, maybe we'll see because we're right there. I think it's 2 hours and 14 minutes. I think is when this system locks up. So maybe we'll just keep it going until we get to there because I need to know. I need to know if I need to find a different software because this thing is it's a little goofy. I just freeze. Maybe I can do like a freeze, be like, like I'm leaving. So we got the snow. I wonder if Rusty, have you been experiencing any of the cold weather? Has it hit you first before it comes over here? You got some nasty winds and some frigid cold weather, and then behind you, you're gonna be in the 40s and 70s and out in your shorts. That cold weather, man. Holy shnikes, there's a whole okay. Whew. Man, I thought I missed a bunch of guys. I was like, I am so sorry. It was just scrolling differently. What's this banners? Ooh, windy right now in Chicago. Was it last year? Was it last year that the Teslas got all trapped somewhere? They couldn't charge their batteries and it got really cold. I don't remember what year it was too. Wasn't there a bad one kind of by Lake Michigan that those cars all they had abandoned them. They got snowed in. I tell you what, I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I feel like with age, you just kind of learn that good old Mother Nature's pretty darn strong, and you're probably not going to beat it sometimes. So you're better off just kind of letting the storm go through, and then you take your vessel and you go out and do your business. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I tell you, uh, boy, I've had some rough times. And I think what really set in my brain was one time, see, like, I always tell myself, I'm not saying it can't ever happen, but I always tell myself nowadays, I go, I don't think we'll ever get snow trapped in. Like I said, not say it can't happen. But the reason I think that It's because I think we have so much better technology now, right? We know the storms, we got all the radars, we got so much more information. Everybody's got a cell phone, everybody's got TVs, so much more information. We can predict it so much better. And then the other reason is, at least for my neck of the woods, and I'm probably sure for some of your guys' neck of the woods too, the equipment has gotten so much better. They got wings on the trucks now. I mean, the trucks even improved even since I used to plow. But anyways, a little story. It was quite a few years back. I was plowing actually for the city, and while I was working here, and I had 3 jobs at the time. Yeah, it's fun. Anywho, anyways, I was plowing. There was a ton of notice out there, ton of notice, right? No, nobody should go out, blah blah blah. And I'm plowing this big area that goes over this, it goes over the highway, a huge bridge, and I'm the wingman for another guy. So I'm the guy with the in the behind, right, with the tandem plow truck with the big wing, man, the really tall ones. And so nobody's supposed to be out, right? And I could not believe when we got to that hill how many cars were coming out. And I mean, just cars. And I'm like, what are these people thinking out here in sedans? I mean, I wouldn't even come out here unless I had a lifted 4-wheel drive truck. I mean, it was so bad. And thank goodness, the guy in front of me, because I am doing everything right. We both have the same identical trucks, except I think he had a front plow too. I can't quite remember if he was just doing underbelly. Anywho, I'm just like, he keeps pulling away from me. And I'm just like, I don't know how he can make this truck run faster than mine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like amazed. So I'm doing everything I can to stay up with him. And luckily he hit the radio, right? And he's like, hey, first thing I heard is just watch out for this car up here. So also I'm looking down at plow and I'm looking at road, and I look up, right? And I mean, as soon as I look up, there's a car with whatever, a family in it, whatever, right? And I'm like, holy shnikes, you know what I mean? I swerved, and I mean, I was really close to wiping this car out. And I was just like, it's one of those moments where like you want to get out of the car or the truck, and be like, what are you, I darn near just killed you. And just cars piled up. And I just saw it. People are What are people doing? People aren't very smart. Like there's no reason to be out here right now. Like, I mean, yeah, you're probably better off. I don't know what you're better off doing. Call for an ambulance. I don't know. Tony says, "Or right here, Fort Wayne is windy too." I don't think we got too much wind going on yet. I did hear it south, from another family down south in Allegan. But it's supposed to be. Sounds like it's supposed to be pretty gnarly. 35 mile an hour. I think that was just constant wind too. I don't even think that was with some gusts. So it could get up there, but it seems like the weathermen are getting to be a little bit. It's like it feels like when they underpredict, that's when we get hit. I don't know what it is. And then it seems like they're almost kind of predicting things to get the hype going. You know what I mean? Like to get people out there, stimulate the economy a little bit. Go get those generators, go get that gasoline, go get those Tootsie Rolls, and then it's like the storm comes through and you're like, what happened to like the 6 to a foot of snow? We got like 2-4 inches. What, I don't know. That's just what it seems like lately. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Rich's guy, he says, yeah, that was about 6 years ago. He says they couldn't keep up with plowing and Lakeshore Drive got snowed in. Hey, man. Dang. Like I said, I mean, it could still, but I remember even with our, over here when we had that bad snowstorm, I know our boss was so concerned that he said, yeah, he goes, the mayor thinks, he says, we're going to get, I forget how he kind of worded it. Like the roads are going to get blocked, or we're going to get snowed in. And he says, the hell with that. He says, not on my watch. And so we were like, all right. Well, our biggest problem was our windshield wipers were freezing up. We couldn't see out our windows. The windows were freezing up so bad. Trucks were running great. Trucks were keeping up with everything, even though I mean the snow was so piled on these. I mean, it's like how you got like one of those dogs that goes out with that special weird fur, and you're like, how do you got a football size snowball on your butt? You know what I mean? Or hanging from your bottom end. That's like what the trucks were like. But we were rotating brakes, and luckily we had the new building, so it has radiant floor heat, and so we'd pull in there and the ice would start coming right off the trucks. I mean, our our boss guy got us pizza, so we'd rotate and get our windshields cleaned up and that. But it all kept up. We didn't get nothing blocked. There was one spot by the airport that was always a real problem with drifting, but I don't know. I'm sure stuff can, you just never know. Rusty says, yeah, he says, we got 3 inches of snow today, and tomorrow morning is supposed to be under 20 degrees. Ooh, before the wind chills. Ooh, man, stack that door quick. I know, man. I tell you, you get in those wind situations, it's like you get it at least above like your head, and you're just like, oh, holy cow, I can actually breathe now. You know? That's why when people are like, do you stack them and use nails? I don't use no stinking nails, man. I do it with the track, and I get that puppy rocking and rolling because I can imagine stacking them with nails too, and then getting such a big wind gust, it'd pry your nails. So obviously we're getting right about that time. Like I said, I think it's 2 hours and 14 minutes is I think when this system shuts down. So I'm just putting it out there. So if I freeze, I'm out of here. I wish you the best. I hope you stay safe. I hope everything goes great. I hope you keep all your fingers and don't get frostbite. But we'll see. We're going to test the system here. We'll see. It seems like it's a 2 hour, right now, 2:05. What we're showing on the counter. And thanks for being here. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it. And the harassments. I like those too. 20 degrees. I have a feeling my ratchet straps will be frozen and there will be stuck to the ladder rack. Oh man. Oh man. I've had I've been in Tony's situation too where you leave it out and you get the rain and then it freezes. That cardboard. Oh man, that's sometimes the worst. If it's like the Tony knows because if you like the Haas, those Haas stores with that like that ribbed foam, whatever, not the foam, but the ribbed cardboard. Oh, it's like that stuff sticks. I mean, you're like blowing. You try to like scrape it off with your fingers, so it looks decent for the customer. You just tear it off. It's like it just sticks to it. No heat in the buildings or whatever you're doing. You can't get it warm enough, anyways. You're like, yeah, when summer comes back around, which I don't know is ever, that stuff will come off. I promise. And I hope it does. I hope it doesn't stain like leaves. I think leaf stains are the worst, man. I tell you, I've tried putting them under tarps. They last for a little bit, but man, I'm telling you, leaves are the worst. It's got to be a better way to store them. Enclosed trailer, shipping container. Unfortunately, we can't always carry shipping containers in ours because we are not industrial. We are commercial in our zoning. Probably better. I don't know maybe industrial is kind of more buried. Is the only problem. Commercial is more like flashy. It's kind of like that whole gas station. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head. Grocery store type stuff where the industrial's kind of buried. But sometimes I go, man, I wish I was zoned industrial, so you could just pretty much get away with murder. It seems like that's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be some frozen doors tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be some little old ladies that don't be ripping the old ladies off. Okay. You guys be nice to them. Right. That's my dad always telling me. He says, you're out ripping off old ladies today. And some frozen doors that they don't quite understand that if they just got out there, waited the next day when it warms up a little bit, or gave her a little kick, or put some, what do we got out there? We got Pam, we got Vaseline, what have I heard? WD. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else out there. I got another product that's coming. I might show it, maybe not. I forget what exactly it's called. It's supposed to be eco-friendly. I thought about seeing if that might work too. I forget what it's like. It's almost like it's like a spray on. Kind of reminds me of a Surface Shield, I think, or Surface Shield is what that one brand was. Tony's guys, I'm sure when I don't want to work, there will be a lot of work. I've always noticed too, it seems like storms. We used to get a lot of work when we have a lot of the storms with power outages. One, which was always kind of a crummy one. That's why we, now it's better to kind of do the preventative maintenance, and you're also providing the customer something nice. And what you do though is, you're doing preventative maintenance, but you go out there and unfortunately sometimes, right, they don't know how to re-engage the operator, especially those lift masters, right? Sometimes those trick them, right? You got to pull back and then you got to pull forward. That would trick people. So we lost our power and, we got our cars out, but now our garage door opener's not working. And you get there and it's always like, it always feels, it's like, oh, that's all, and it's a trolley's going back and forth, but it's not hooked up to the actual mechanism trolley, whatever you want to call it, the carrier. The carrier's running, right? But the trolley, I don't know what you call it, but that was always seemed like it was always a big one. Also openers would get whacked. Power outages, zap. Genies were always notorious for it. The lift masters seemed like they'd hold up a little bit better, but you always get that one where they'd be like, "Oh yeah, the tree outside, you see it?" No, you go out there, right, and you're like, "Yeah, a big lightning bolt came through it." Holy crap! You can actually see the trees all shattered in pieces. Yeah, I think that's why we lost our TV, our microwave, we lost our fridge, and that opener. Yeah, it took a hell of a hit. No problem. Turn it in. Rich B says, turn it into a PM. And that's why he's exactly right. Right. That way you get there, you say, you know what, I'm going to do the preventive maintenance, and they feel warm and fuzzy about it. You do your spray lube, you check things out, take the cover off if you want, off the opener, do a little blow out the white fuzzies if they're in there, grease up the gear or something. Check the photo eyes, brush off the photo eyes. Do anything like that makes them, and then you charge them whatever you're going to charge, 65, 75, 85, 120, 405, 1 million, 1,000, charge whatever, charge them your service call. Big thing is you got to make sure they're aware about it. That's the big one. See, there was something the secretary was saying at one time, and I forgot how she was wording it, but they assumed that was included, like for a freebie. You know what I mean? Like, Rusty, like I see it. But I forget how she worded it, but you have to tell them like there's a service call, and then anything after that is additional parts. Because there was some way she was wording it, I can't remember, but I remember that was getting tricked where the customers were kind of going, "Well, I thought that was included. Like our service call, everything is included. Like that you got to change out our gear, and now you're going to charge me $200, $300, whatever it is." You know what I mean? They act like, huh? And I was like, no, our service call is this to come out. That's to get the guy, the fuel, the labor, the truck, get out here, the initial. And then, but I always remember that's why you always also want to charge, right? And even if you take it off, say, look, we'll take this off. We're going to do an opener for you. You're going to have to pay me the $120 today or whatever. We're going to take that off your opener, which is $600, whatever. But you got to get paid, because otherwise I've had them, you tell them $600 and they go, I can go to the store, or my nephew can do it. Or I had a guy that said, called back later and said he'd do it for $400. You know what I mean? So I don't really need your service anymore. And then it's hard now because they don't want to give you the money, right? Because you're already there, and you send them a bill, they forget about it, they lose it, they don't pay it. That's why you got to get paid when you're there, at least for that service call. If you want to take it off, make it sound all sweet and juicy, go for it. Rusty's got. We're getting there. We got 212. Like I said, I thought it was 214 is the last time, and I don't know if I've seen it twice. And that's when the robot. That way they don't feel like they got bent over. It's amazing, man. Sometimes it's all about perception. It really is. It's all about just making them feel all warm and fuzzy, but if you just show up there, it's like that whole photo eye, right? You do that little, right? And you go, that's $65 or that's $120 or that's $405. They go, they go, how much? And all you did is that's all you did, like I did, but it cost a lot to get out here and have the knowledge and know how to fix it. And you could have gladly stayed inside, and when you're drinking your coffee this morning, you could have watched YouTube and you could have probably figured it out for free, but sometimes people just don't, they just want to call and make it somebody else's, and that's fine. If they want to pay us, I'm fine. I went to a customer twice on that. The second time I finally told her, I said, do you want to come out this time? I said, and look at what I'm doing. she was like, she was sick of paying me twice, because I told her the first time, I said, I can show you what I did. Oh no, she's on the phone. She's like, it's fine. How much? Next time I come back out, I knew it was a garbage can. She kept messing with the garbage can. No freeze. Maybe it was the internet last time. We'll give her to 15 or 16 before we cut her. Tony's got LOL. Rusty says, wiggle the sensors for free. And then they don't mind my 405 one. It's a real problem. That's right. Like I said, give them a freebie once in a while. Say, here you go. I don't know. Like I said, I always liked it. We always just prime them. Say, look, it's going to be 65, 85, 120, for us to come out. And that way they just understand that they got to pay. You got to pay something, right? There's something due because it's hard, especially when you got employees. When you start looking at employees, I think that's easy to take for granted, our own time. But I don't know. I started always looking at it, and sometimes I always told myself, I go, you know what? I can sit on the couch for free too. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it. So I try to look at it as kind of like an attorney a little bit, and I go, all your time should be documented. All your time should be collecting, not trying to sound greedy, or whatever, but a lot of it can be eliminated over the phone. You know what I mean? Like I'll sit on an hour. I'll sit on an hour phone call with somebody. That does not bother me. That does not bother me. Oh, hi customer. How are you? Yeah. Can you point your camera down? Yes. Yes. Right there. Right there. Yes. See that? That's the problem. I mean, I'll do that for an hour, but if I got to go out there and I got to turn that key on that ignition, that's where it gets me, right? Because that stuff is expensive. You know what I mean? That truck, that vehicle, that employee. And then the worst is going to be if everything's not clear and then, hey man, I was driving out here. Oh my, what's going on? Oh my gosh, dude, they're taking me to the hospital. I think I got to get my leg amputated. Oh my, what? Like that's the stuff that keeps me up at night. You know what I mean? Because no. That's why, hey, we go out. Insurance isn't cheap. If I got to pay for somebody's kids and family after they're gone, that's stuff to think about too. All right, we'll go to 11 since our thing didn't lock up, so I have no clue what happened. We're at 216. Well, thanks for sticking it out with me. If you got anything, throw it in. We'll go to 11 o'clock. I don't know what I'm glad we made it. I guess maybe now I can trust this a little bit. I'm surprised this I don't know why I locked up the last 2 times, especially with it was fun. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for covering me, man. That was cool. It was really cool. I know it wasn't cool for you, but it was cool for me. As soon as I locked up, man, Tony, I wasn't on the screen anymore when me and Papa Tony were doing it, which also, by the way, you should check it out. Tony, if you want, you're always more welcome. Put your handle, put your code name in the comments, but you should check out Papa Tony's. I check out Tony's Garage Door Service. That's how I find them. Check him on YouTube. Look for the purple. He's got the purple. He likes the purple. Just like if you look at his profile too, he's got a purple business card up there. Let's see if we can click on him right here. This guy right here, that purple. Look for the purple. You'll find him. He's always got some good information. Teaches me a thing or two. So is good old Rich B. And so is Rusty and Kevin and Evan and who else? We had Door. Oh, let me go back up. Door 06, Door Guy 06. Hey man. And like I said, don't be afraid. Always, if you guys got anything, you're bored. Rusty always does a good job. He always sends me pictures once in a while. I always love seeing what he's up to. He's always got some good stuff. Employees, HPR insurance, workman's comp, and drama. So good, man. Thanks for putting that up there, Rich B. That's very true. That's very true. It adds up. When you start thinking about it, when you're sending it, it's always like a different perspective, right? Like when you send somebody out there and it's not you, and you start thinking like, oh my God, I'm paying this guy 20, 30, 40, $50 an hour. And you're sitting there and he comes back and he's like, hey boss, I'm exaggerating, right? Employees are wonderful. My employees are not like this, but there's some out there, right? But they, hey boss, I turned their sensor. They're all set. Okay, where's the check? Cash, Venmo, cookies, nothing, nothing. You were gone for an hour. Well, yeah, I stopped at the gas station too. I had to get I used the bathroom. I had to, and you're like, you got nothing, dude. Like this is adding up. Do. There you go. Tony's Garage Door Service, LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, or Papa Tony 5340. Yeah. The good old LLC. I don't know. Do you guys advertise a lot of your LLCs? I had Caleb ask me, and I told him, I said, I used to, just to kind of put it out there, but I said, you don't really have to. I mean, I guess in some states and all that, technically you're supposed to, right? That's your legal name, but I always just looked at it like sometimes I just don't like it on there for certain things. I used to put it on a lot for when I used to think I was going to get whacked, but now that I learned how the system really works, I don't think I mind it too much. Just depends on the customer. This customer I think is going to sue me. They're getting the LLC, you know. I tried, Dave, kind of caught me off guard when you disappeared from that live feed. You did great. You did great, man. It was fun. It was fun. I was like, son of a biscuit still on my channel. I didn't know what to do. I just went like this. It's like, I'm not touching nothing on the computer because I was like, I didn't know what it would do. I didn't know if it would just shut it off. So it was great. You did great. Evan's still here. He says, I don't have an LLC. He says, no. Like I said, it all depends on your level. There is legal stuff you eventually kind of want, but it all depends, Evan, hey man, it's like if you don't own nothing, you ain't got nothing, so it's kind of nobody can really take nothing from you if you ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying in general. Sometimes that's the way I look at the world where I'm like, I'd rather just lease that and rent that. Like, I don't want to own it because then they'll take it away. Like, I don't want to own it clear and free because I want the attorney to go, this dude ain't got nothing, dude. Like, I mean, he's all tight. Like you might get his pants and his t-shirt. I don't know if it's worth going after him. You gotta. It's crazy how the world is. It's taught one way, but yeah, it's this way. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Rusty's guys has almost got the man lift stuck in gravel this morning. Ooh, I had to take a run for it to get it back inside. Oh man. Hey, you know what's a funny story, right? It wasn't funny at the time. We had a new build. It was actually the car. This one was the car dealership they were building for the builder, right? For some reason, good employee, right? I mean, he's a good dude. He launched the car or the scissor lift off the side. I don't know why. I mean, it was a 6 to 8 foot drop and he chipped the concrete. Man, my builder called me. He was ticked. And it wasn't like this guy. I don't know if he just had a brain fart that day and he thought he could drive it in the gravel around the building because they're going to get asphalt eventually all around it. But man, chipped the concrete. Luckily, the builder didn't charge us for it. It was like a $10,000 bill, what they had to tear back up too. It's like, man, dude, you can't be doing that crap. Small print. There you go. The small print, they'll get you that. Evan says, Tony, do you want to try and do a dual live on the weekend? Dude, you guys got to let me know. You got to let me know. And Papa Tony too, if you always want, even with Evan, whatever, I can probably put you on this. If you guys kind of even want to more host it, I can be a part of it too. Because this seems to work pretty good. I don't know. I haven't done 3, but I believe it can because we can do 2. It looks like it has it, but it might be a little easier too. If you want me to stay, I can stay in the background too. It's just whatever. It's fun. Like I said, maybe we shouldn't though. Might freeze up, but that's okay. Tony's got it. He knows what to do now. He's got a script and everything. He's ready. That's why we were playing around with it. We were testing out the water, and obviously it failed, but now it's working like a champ. I don't know what's going on, man. I tell you, technology, you just can't trust it nowadays. Plus, probably because we're on a shoestring budget here, right? We got isn't it amazing? Does anybody ever think about this stuff? Isn't it amazing when you think about it. When you think about a phone line, right? A phone line had two wires, right? Remember the old phone jacks in your house, right? Tear one apart. All it took was wires, two wires to talk to somebody across the country, right? And maybe even into another, you know, country across the pond or whatever. You know, isn't that weird? And then I was just doing a repair with one of the kiddos on mine, right? And we got because we have whatever. Eventually we're probably going to fiber, but we got the coax, right? Like like the old TV cord, right? It's got the little nut on it. Now it's just one wire. I mean, I guess it's two, right? There's a shield in there, I think too. I don't know, but it's just basically one wire. Doesn't that blow anybody else's mind that you can do all this on one wire? Like you can transmit, we can do audio, we can do video through a wire. Like it makes me think that they're listening to us. They were listening to us through electrical wires, like just your outlet, just the vibrations between the two wires. They could probably decode that. You know what I mean? Like they could listen to you. Like, am I the only one that thinks this? Like I just think I look at that little copper wire in there, I just go, this thing I can talk to like anybody in the, in the world. You know what I mean? Like that's weird, dude. I mean, that's creepy almost. Like it's amazing, but it's also weird. Oh, look at Tony. He says, Dave, you're always welcome. Oh man, I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. Papa Tony gonna sing me a lullaby. Oh, there you go. That's right. Rich's guy is like, camera action. I'm thinking about it. Maybe when Rich hits the big lotto, he can buy me one of those. Because sometimes I tell you, when you're doing videos, like I feel like it'd be easier. Because what I found out, just a little hint for some people out there, right? Evan might even know about this a little bit too. If you're doing video, like short videos is better than long video. Like you just want to use like a DJI or your phone, and you're just like, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna let this thing record for 2 hours. Oh my gosh, is that a nightmare to edit? There's so much stuff behind the scenes. Uh, you know, that just takes up. Evans guy says, any aliens in Michigan? Could be. It could be, right? I mean, we lost Fitzgerald, right? It sunk. That storm. We don't know exactly still what happened. It's there's all kinds of weird stuff, man. I don't know. I still don't even know if the world is round. I haven't walked it. Have you? Have you guys walked it? I haven't walked it yet. Or taken the sailboat and went around the world yet. So I don't know. It could be flat. It could be flat. Could be round. We could be in a bubble. We can't even get it out. That's why all those rockets are always going on an angle. I don't know. I don't even know if we've been to the moon because I haven't been there myself. So I don't know. I don't even know what Hollywood shows me. What time is it? 11:04. I think we're gonna wrap her up, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you got anything, always you can hit me up at the daveadubson@gmail.com. Otherwise, some of you got my number. If you want my number, you can always email me. I'll give you my number. You can always text me because sometimes I know text is just easier. At least it is for me. Email works fine too because the old smartphones aren't too bad. But some people just prefer the text, so I don't care. And let's see, Evan's got, he says, what's the guy? He says, if you go outside and look straight up, he says the earth is round. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Some people leave and they never come back. So I don't know. They leave old Michigan and it's like they go off a cliff. I don't know. I haven't walked it yet. They just tell me what happens over in Russia and Ukraine. I haven't been over there. I just see what's on the news and what they tell me. I'm just messing. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna get out of here. It's time to go to bed. We got a bunch of shoveling is gonna happen tomorrow, right? Probably, and slippery roads. Rich B's got, so if you take a can of string, he says, walk around the world, can you talk to yourself? That's a good one, man. That's a good one. I forgot about the old can and the string, man. I used to try that with a neighbor kid. It kind of worked. It kind of worked, right? That's a good one though. All right, guys, I'm out. We'll see you. Have a good night. Evan's got yes, Rich. Oh man, you guys take care. We'll see you on the next one. Email me. See ya. Thanks for being here. Try to edit.